In today's video, we're going to be sharing 5 of the biggest mistakes that Amanda has made in her reselling business on Amazon the last 2 years. So Amanda, she started 2 years ago selling books. She moved into online arbitrage, eBay to Amazon, and she scaled her business to over $150,000 a year. Matter of fact, right now, she's at about $20,000 per month with Amazon. She's also selling on Walmart. So if you're either a new seller, brand spanking new, or you've been selling for a while and want to grow your business, this video is going to save you a lot of money by avoiding these mistakes that Amanda made. So without further ado, let's dive into today's video. How are we doing, Amanda? Welcome back to the channel.
Thank you. Doing good. Doing good. Thanks for having me. I love it.
Absolutely. So we're going to be talking about, a topic on this channel that a lot of people say, I wish you guys talked about your mistakes. I wish you shared like the downsides. I wish you shared some of the things that actually cost you money because, and I keep saying this phrase, but this is the new world on social media. Everything's great. Everything's amazing. Everybody's making money. Everything's perfect. That's the biggest crock of what. You're going to make mistakes, especially if you're a new seller, but even if you've been selling for 10 plus years like myself, I still make really silly mistakes that cost me money. But today we're really going to filter it down to 5 mistakes that can save you a lot of money. So what do we have for mistake number 1, Amanda, selling on Amazon?
Is ignoring red flags when hiring a virtual assistant. This one is like the top because I spent so much time, money, and I just wanted to be oblivious to the red flags. And in the end, it cost not me a lot of money, but a lot of time and effort and resources and everything like that. So that one kind of encompasses a lot of reasons why it cost me a lot of time and money. So don't ignore those red flags like I did.
And there's so many different red flags that we could have in our business. I mean, you went right into kind of an advanced one. Not everybody's going to have a virtual assistant, but this can apply to even a product. Maybe you're selling a specific product and you're getting like high pricing errors all the time, or it's always suppressed, or it's getting returned all the time. Like those are, I guess it's a form of a red flag. Or maybe your prep center is not shipping stuff out on time, or maybe you have a lister who's helping you or prepping items and they keep messing up, or they're not showing up on time. These are all red flags. And then in our business, we have to be able to be real with ourselves, right?
Exactly. Yeah. You definitely have to do a lot of internal reflection. Like, what could I have done differently? What could the situation been different? You definitely need to have some reflection and accountability on if things go wrong or if they go right, how do you duplicate that? But I do hope that when people get to the step where they're hiring virtual assistants, that they don't ignore those red flags. Like, go with your gut. Your gut tells you a lot more than you probably know. So, which can be in anything. So,
yeah. So the big thing I got from that is you don't want to just work. You also want to take time to think, reflect on your business. Awesome, Amanda. Let's get into tip number 2. And this one's really important. It's not knowing your numbers and not knowing, where your money's going and how fast I'm getting it back. So let's elaborate on this because this is super important. This is a mistake that I've made. I think every single person who starts selling on Amazon, again, they come into this world thinking, I'm going to make all this money. I see all these people on YouTube and TikTok just sharing how easy it is. And they're showing their orange bars, right? That's me showing my phone, all my orange bars. But it's a different game when you really start to scale and get into it. So let's touch on that a little bit.
Yeah. So I like to know my turnover rate for one. I want to know how fast my items are selling. If I'm selling my items in less than 180 days or less, or if I'm having items that I'm keeping in my inventory for over a year, I want to know why that isn't selling, because that's just my capital just sitting there not doing anything. So I'm happy that my turnover rate is at 88% right now, which is amazing. So I really need to know where my numbers are. So I know how much I'm spending, what needs to come in, and how I get my money back, because I have expenses too in my business. So I need to make sure those are covered along with everything else.
So do you have any tips for folks who, they're thinking to themselves, okay, that sounds great. I've got to know my numbers, but how in the world do I know my numbers? Do you use any softwares? Are you using Quickbooks? Are you manually just kind of going in, or are you going into like your Amazon reports? Can you share any tips? I know it's a tough topic and everyone does it differently, but what do you personally do that helps you?
So I first started doing a normal Excel spreadsheet because I was not wanting to pay for software at that point. But now I do Sellerboard and QuickBooks. But I'm also integrating into Connectbooks, which will replace my Sellerboard. Connectbooks just helps me with my Amazon and Walmart at the same time. So that is only why I'm doing Connectbooks, but Sellerboard is a great option. I can see, my profit on each item and everything like that. So that's what I use. And I love them.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing those resources. And I will even add on to that, get to know your Amazon dashboard and into your different reports and stuff, because you could gain a lot of valuable insights, with your inventory, your top sellers. Amazon also has a report for your returns, your refund rates per ASIN, what inventory is problematic. You could actually go in and see the reasons for returns and, kind of assess what products you don't want to flip anymore. So yeah, just want to add that on, but awesome tips.
Which is why I won't ever sell modems and routers anymore, because those get returned so often. So that's just my own personal preference, is they get returned too often for me to even consider them. So that is coming to know your numbers is, okay, modems and routers get returned, so I'm not going to sell those anymore. So just kind of those decisions we have to kind of make sometimes, but oh well.
Awesome. Great tip. Now let's get into the third costly mistake. Now, this is your area of expertise, if you want to call it that, because it ain't my area. I don't do FBM, which stands for fulfillment by merchant, which is similar to selling on eBay, right? When you sell on eBay, you're the merchant. You're storing the inventory. You're shipping it one by one. You're dealing with customer service. I sell FBA. I send everything out to the warehouses. But you actually do a little bit of FBM, fulfilled by merchant. And you've got a costly mistake that you wanted to share that actually happened, last year, 2020, during Q4, which I know we're all excited about. What's that costly mistake? What did you learn during that first Q4 experience with FBM?
The shipping costs for Amazon or for your products. I offered free shipping on Amazon because I personally like buying items with free shipping. And so I didn't realize how much shipping would be, and so you really need to know how much. And of course, every time somebody bought something for me, I was shipping it to Florida. Washington State to Florida is not cheap. And so I wish I would have done a little bit more due diligence on how much it would cost worst case scenario, because it was worst case scenario every time. So that a lot of my products, I broke even, if not made a couple dollars. So that's very important to know the weight, the price, and everything like that.
Do you have any tips to share with folks in terms of how they could prevent losing money? What was the ultimate outcome? Did you realize, hey, I'm going to start charging shipping, or did you set up certain shipping plans? Again, I don't sell FBM, so I can't speak super educated on it. But what's the big lesson learned that folks can implement to be safe and not lose money?
I honestly just started charging for shipping because I was shipping things out from board games to DVDs. And so I just felt like if I was charging for shipping, it was better. And I really didn't recognize my mistake until a week before Christmas. So even at that time, people were willing to pay for the shipping because they wanted it before the holidays. So that is why I was okay with applying the shipping fee. But that was definitely a big deterrent of why I don't want to do FBM. The shipping. No, thanks.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing these costly mistakes so far. I know it's uncomfortable. And again, a lot of people, we just want to talk about the good, but I think this is very valuable. So with that being said, let's get into number 4. This is a bit more advanced as well. Not everybody's going to even be thinking about prep centers. Some folks, they're like, I'm never going to give up control of my inventory. I want to touch my inventory. I want to price it. I want to list it. I want to ship it. I want to know that it is safe. But you actually had an interesting insight with this mistake. So you said mistake number 4, and I'll kind of just share this and you could elaborate. Not getting a prep center sooner. I would have saved myself so much time, stress, and gained back a lot of my time and freedom. Interesting.
Yeah. So we would do shipments every week, every Saturday, which could take up to 4 to even 8 hours.
Yeah.
And that's your whole day. Cause then after you're tired, you're exhausted, you don't want to do anything else. And so, I have a full-time job. And so I'm taking my day off, or I'm having my day off from my work to do more work. So at the end of the day, I'm like, I want my Saturdays back. And then it's not like just the prep center, but it's also all the boxes you have, all the filling
Oh,
you have, all the packing peanuts you have. And it's like then taking the time to take those. And it's also the time bringing those packages in. Or if you're going to be gone for a full day, you need to have someone bring those in or they get stolen. And so there's just so many things that I was like, I can't do anything because I have these packages. I can't do anything except to send them. So like, and you can't put it off because that's your money sitting there. So yeah, I wish I would have done it a lot sooner.
yeah. Who gave you the kick in the butt to do it?
I think it was Steve Rakin.
The funny thing is, like, I can't even brag about this because I was prepping. So I do eBay to Amazon. Amanda, she does eBay to Amazon. She's also doing Walmart retail arbitrage. But when you're doing eBay to Amazon, you're getting like literally like I would have sometimes 50 to 100 packages on my doorstep. So it's an absolute nightmare dealing with the boxes, the packing materials, the mailman. Like, honestly, I'm having like flashbacks of like, I remember I was on vacation with my girlfriend once and I was gone for 2 weeks. And my poor mom, she's getting ready to turn 70 years old. And I got over here freaking bringing in 80 boxes. Like I like got the worst son award of the year. So that's why I always take care of her so well because she helps me out. But yeah, it's crazy. And yeah. It's been a game changer having a prep center for me. Not to make this about me, but just to kind of add on to what you were saying. I completely I'm getting like goosebumps thinking like how amazing it is having a prep center now. And it's like, speaking of freedom, because that word really stood out, like that should be the whole purpose. Like after a couple of years of selling on Amazon, like we should all just stop bragging about how much money we're making. We should start to brag about like how much money we're making per hour that we work in the business. Like, do you have freedom, or else why don't we just go work a freaking job? Like,
right. Exactly.
I don't know what else to say, but I couldn't agree more. So that was a great tip. Let's get on to number 5, buying 1-year subscriptions to save money. You said, but didn't end up liking it. So you said you would buy subscriptions to softwares and you would get the annual plan because, marketers are good marketers. And you're like, well, I'm using this forever. This is going to change my whole life and my family's life.
Yep.
And then you said using too many subscriptions too soon, leveraging time in the beginning and then slowly adding software. So what comes to mind when you think about that? And what advice would you offer to folks who are seeing all these softwares for listing and shipping and, sourcing and repricing? And it's like every single day seems like there's another software. And I feel like a lot of them are beneficial, but when you're new, I think it's like one of the worst things you could do. So I'm going to shut up. I want to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, like if you can leverage your time, do that. If you're able to list off of the Amazon Seller Central, do that instead of, buying a listing software, even though those are great, but it's good to save money in the beginning and leverage your time versus then when you get the hang of things, you're making more money, then you can invest in the softwares. There is just so many out there that I feel like are either unnecessary or you can get too soon. And so that's kind of where I did. And the software that I bought was mainly for OA. And it just didn't apply to me like I thought it would. So definitely do your due diligence with softwares because there's also competitors out there, So if you don't like one software, there's another. So definitely just I would put off some softwares as long as possible.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, the goal of this business, especially when you're new, is you want to start cash flowing and making money or invest as much back into your business. And the thing about softwares, it just eats right out of your bottom line. So if a software is not making you a certain amount of an ROI or a profit or saving you a ton of time, you really have to assess, is it worth it? So for me personally, I never buy annuals in the beginning. I will always, push out the free trial and then do monthly. And at the end of the day, if you reach out to a software company behind the scenes and say, hey, maybe they had a one-time offer for an annual, they're going to give it to you, So cool. Thank you so much, Amanda, for sharing these tips. I know you have more tips, but we'll be making more videos in the future about, what's working, mistakes, so on and so forth. If you guys want to follow Amanda, ask her a question or book a coaching call with her. I'll put information down below to her YouTube channel, to her coaching calendar. She's also a coach inside of our resellingfreedom.com mentorship group. So that's a group that I run with over 10 other Amazon expert coaches. And Amanda's a coach in there, and she talks a lot about Walmart, also eBay to Amazon. And appreciate you being in there. Appreciate you being on the channel and
Thank
sharing
you.
these uncomfortable mistakes, but that's how we learn. Thank you so much, Amanda. I appreciate you.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me. I love being here, so I just appreciate your time. So,
all right, guys. Thank you, Amanda. Thanks, everybody. Much love. See you in the next one. Bye.